Hello everyone, Simon here from the Wells of Wall Street. We are going into a quick video around Vechain, that is VET, VET, on the exchange. Straight into the chart on this one. I'm trying to catch up on many videos. So here we are. So guys, a few observations first of all. It's not all doom and gloom in this aspect of the charts. There is opportunity for the taking, in my opinion. None of this is financial advice, obviously, just opinions and thoughts and what we're doing as a team here at Wales as well. So just a few observations here. From that 20th, 21st of July pinpoint where we were just over 5.5 cents, we had a fantastic run all the way up to here, including a correction along the way, or a mini one. But we got to the point of this mark here on the 6th of September, which reached a high of just under 16 cents, so 15.7 cents. That equated to 179% growth, which is really fantastic. Vechain is one of our favorite bags. We've got it currently in the reward systems and getting the VTOR tokens as well. Go check out our intro video if you have not watched that already. I will leave a link at the end of this one, do not worry, so you will not miss out. So we've got this aspect here, and along this way, as I mentioned, we did have a correction. So when we got to around this 15th, 16th of August period, we did have a bit of a tail off. We dropped down slightly to 31st of August, around 11, just literally pretty much 12 cents ish. So that was quite a good little pullback. We had another rise, but we just cannot really get past these particular areas. So if you actually look back in history, the mark that we had on the 6th of September when we had the 15.7 cents is pretty much, if I'm not mistaken, 15.2 on this 4th of June. So we had a lot of resistance around this area previously. Okay, so it's not a surprise in my opinion. But what are we looking at here? It's funny because when you pull the chart out, you see things a little differently, don't you? So let's just quickly so you see what I mean. Like this is essentially where we're at. So actually we're kind of on a really good pattern here. Even if we came down to this potential levels around here, we're still in an upward momentum in the historic data of this year so far. I'm just going to remove that for now just so we don't confuse ourselves. But let's go back to this macro level here in the more recent time. So we've had some funnel areas put in just to transition ourselves into where we need to get to. Now obviously we're trailing under this little trend line within our funnel here, and that's sort of for an indicator to me. When we started going off track here, I was kind of thinking, okay, and when you see these pull back upwards, it's sometimes a bit of a false one, and we saw that we couldn't quite get to that. And when it was around this area, I remember looking at it and going, actually this might tail off. So that happened. We had the Bitcoin day. But what was good, of course, it retraced, I believe, at least 50% within that one day, back on a similar sort of sideways track here. And that, to be fair, when I saw this area, I thought, okay, we're bouncing some support here. That's really good for Vechain. But of course, the market in general is in a bit of a bearish momentum. That doesn't mean every asset has to follow the line. So I was wrong. I was right here in my mind, but I was wrong here. So it's just really a question of getting into the nitty gritty of those 4-hour and hourly charts to realize actually things weren't looking hunky-dory. So when I did my research on that aspect, it kind of made it more clearer in my mind. So upon that, I started putting in 2 extra buy areas down here. So I did actually sell some Vechain along this way, ready for the pullback whenever that would have been. And of course it kind of got accelerated in my opinion on the 7th when we had the Bitcoin day, and we just had that big dive down, right? So pretty much along this way we've had the continuation of the reduction. We've had another Bitcoin day yesterday driving markets down, and today it's a bit better in the sense that we did drop further down, but the retracement's coming back, so it just shows you there's more confidence coming slowly back into Vechain. But on this MACD here, I'll just zoom in. It's still very bearish in my opinion. The gap's still widening. The selling volumes are slightly increasing. And that is, as I said, generated by the Bitcoin mess. And everyone starts getting worried and concerned, and then they get shaken out and they release their funds. All I'll say, guys, obviously not financial advice, but hold strong, please. like you will not really regret it in that sense as we move forward. But of course, hopefully everyone was taking profits along the way. We always emphasize that. And there's always opportunities on the way down. That's why I'm not saying this as a negative. Okay, so since this top point around the 6th of September, just under 16 cents, from that point to down to where we are right now has been a reduction of approximately, and let's just do it from the point where it's looking like it's closing-ish, 43%. We take it to 50%, we get nearer our marker. Okay, so I drew this area in here because the reason I've done it kind of like this is because I don't usually go for rounded numbers. I usually go just before and just after them. Okay, so in this instance, we were looking at this 8 cent mark. I've got my first line at around 82-ish. I could go a bit lower than that, but I just thought I'd be cheeky there just in case we had a rebound and there was some resistance at 8, and at least I've got that. I do always put one a bit lower as well at 7.6, and then I've got a small percentage down here in this area so as well. That area in particular would take us out around about 60 cents. Some argue that some could go to 70, and that's absolutely true, and I do that on a lot of my charts, but I can't see that full-on bearish momentum because that really takes us beyond where we were in July, and that would be really, really devastating for the asset in my opinion. Albeit it would come back, of course, but I just think for the health of the project and where we want it to get to, I don't want to see it come down here at all, as much as it'd be great to accumulate more essentially for free. I'm not that selfish, and I think that I don't want to be proven right here at all. But it is a possibility, and that does take us to around 60% reduction from this top point here. So it is plausible, but I think this one is achievable. Are we going to get there in the next few days? I think we might. We might see a bit of a strengthening here, of a bit of a wave, and then a come down, maybe towards the end of September. So what are we now? We're on the 21st, right? So over these next few days, we might see this come down to here, and then a bounce off, hopefully, in the further direction to take us into the middle of October, end of October, take us back up here, maybe even pushing that previous point up here before we even look at the all-time high. I think that's probably maybe in November time. But let's keep an eye on this, guys. The RSI as well, I just want to pinpoint, it's quite low at the moment. I think it is quite top low. So I do think that the very worst case scenario arguably is going to be at the low point of this. I'd like to see us touch this point of around 0.082 or just above that, 0.083, so 8.3 cents basically, that sort of area. Just to tick it off in my mind, and then we can do what we want, go for it. But yeah, that's my selfish aspect. But of course, I want it to rise back up to this level, ideally, and get to 9.4 cents, get some support there, and start pushing back up again, and find some more points of discovery in terms of new support lines. But yeah, as I said, the MACD is showing that bearish momentum, irrespective of the RSI. It is a good indicator, but there's nothing stopping it from going down, maybe into 30, and I think that's what will drag it down to here, and we'll see a bounce back off up in the other direction, because I know there's a lot of volume going in Vechain. It's a massively heavily community-based project. It's certainly one of ours for the future. We hope to accumulate as much as we can in this run. I do still believe it will get around the 87 cents mark, maybe higher. Some people are shouting for $1, and absolutely that's possible. But in my mind, I'm just thinking maybe 87 cents is a realistic number for us. But of course, the dollar, in my opinion, is definitely achievable. So, it's still early days for this. We just need this to turn around over the next couple of weeks. That's what we need. We need to start pushing back to that 22 to that 20 cent mark as well. Get us back to that 27 all-time high, 27 cents, and push on. But I don't see that happening really until at least November. So let's keep an eye on it. Let us know in the comments below if you're holding VET, what your thoughts are in its current predicament. Are you finding buying opportunities? Let us know. It's good for our research, and we'll put out some really good comments in the next video on VET as well in a few days' time. Weekly, we are 23% down. Monthly, 30% down. It's not looking great, is it, at the moment? But we've got to remain positive. The year to date is up 380% still. The 6 months is still up. Even that includes this drop down. So that's good and positive in my opinion as well. I think it's just the short term, guys. We just need to get down to probably this level here and we'll start bouncing back up. If we do come down to here, it'd be devastating. But I think like at the end of the day, as long as it's higher than this point, that's the main thing, and we'll start jumping back up. But that is serious momentum downwards, isn't it, if we go down to here? And it's, you know, we have had support levels at different areas, albeit, to be fair, at this level, not really too many, maybe somewhere around here in March, and anticipation around maybe mid-ish June, and of course around these periods here where we flew each way back and forth. So that is a possibility, absolutely. So let's see how this plays out, guys, over the next week. We'll keep you updated if anything critical happens, but until then, guys, thanks so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Bye bye.